What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
In Maryland, a woman is accused of slicing off a dead man's thumb to steal his financial apps off his phone. In San Antonio, a Sonic manager is killed during an argument with a drive-through customer. And in California, a man who committed murder in 1984 is finally arrested. Right. These stories and more are coming at you today, Wednesday, July 17th, on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Woody Overton. And
it's Hump Day.
Hump Day. Hump Day in July is more than half over.
Right, and it's hot still.
Hot.
It seems like it gets hotter by the minute.
I know, bro. It's too hot. And you know what? I hadn't said it yet, but hearts go out to all the people affected by the hurricane.
Yes,
and a lot of them were still, as of
no electricity,
still no electricity. And
I know that,
and we know that feeling, right?
Oh, yeah.
19 days after Ida with no electricity.
Look, let me tell you this just real fast that the listeners might find interesting. In 2003, when Katrina came through, of course, electricity went out everywhere. My wife was 9 months pregnant.
2005. Yep.
2005, rather. Yep. My wife was 9 months pregnant with my twin girls. Really? Went into labor right in the middle of, it was pretty much right after the hurricane passed. Yeah. So we end up at Woman's Hospital, and I'll never forget, while I'm waiting for, I guess, my twins to come out, right. I was up on the top floor of the parking garage, and I was watching helicopters land from New Orleans because everything in New Orleans was underwater, and those hospitals were having to bring those babies all the way to Baton Rouge. Yeah. It was an amazing sight. Yeah. Just unbelievable to see.
No doubt. And
hundreds of helicopters in the sky.
Flying in and getting it done.
Yeah. Right? Very interesting.
Well, there you go.
All right.
Let's get down to some true crime time for Wednesday.
And we're going to start off in Maryland. And a woman has been accused of cutting a man's thumb and using it to access his financial apps and steal money. I knew it would happen at some point, right? Facile Telcamarium. I'm pretty sure that's right. 53 was found dead with stab wounds after police officers were called to his apartment for a report of an unconscious person. 19-year-old Audrey Miller was arrested in connection with this murder and was later charged with first-degree murder and armed felony murder. Police said that another suspect, 22-year-old Tiffany Taylor of Bowie, Maryland, was also arrested and charged with the same crimes as Miller. Now, the charging documents state that Telcamarium, I'm hoping that's right, y'all, had been found dead inside a bedroom with blunt force injuries to his head and torso, several cuts to his leg and right hand, and his right thumb cut off. The coroner determined that his body had been found between 2 and 5 days after he had been killed, and that his thumb had been removed while he was close to death or shortly thereafter. Investigators also noted that cleaning products had been used at his apartment, though police were eventually able to identify a bloody shoe print by using a forensic crime scene tool. I'll bet you that's the blue light, maybe?
Yeah, probably so. I would say.
Because if they clean the stain, but wouldn't the blue light help that?
The shoe print, if they cleaned it and scrubbed it, it would have taken out the size and the shape of the shoe prints. I don't know. Maybe they just found one print.
Yeah.
They forgot to clean.
Well, Miller was captured on camera in Telecamarion's building, entering his apartment with him 4 days prior to him being found dead. She and Gray also captured on camera coming and going from his apartment with 2 other men wearing mask and hood a few hours later. Well, that tells you they were up to no good. The suspect stole several items from the residence, and a search of his residence showed that several electronic devices and household items were stolen. A witness told investigator that Gray and Telecamarion had a relationship, while another witness said they saw Gray use the stolen thumb to draw money out of his account to pay for things such as an Uber ride, marijuana, and alcohol. Now, you saw this person pull a thumb out
and then report it.
That didn't raise a red flag. That's crazy. Investigators also found that Telecamarion previously filed a complaint accusing Gray of theft last year after his phone went missing and more than $1,600 was stolen from his financial app, which I'm assuming that's like Cash App or Venmo. They don't really say here. But how about that? Cutting his thumb off so that they can take his phone and just set his
what
thumb
pops
on
in my head, that's an old ass phone. You think about it, and now it's all face scan, right?
Yeah.
I don't even think my phone has a thumbprint anymore. Maybe it does.
Right. I mean, well, it's definitely several generations before what mine has, but you can still get them.
So this weekend, I was watching. I like to watch auction shit, and I don't even know the name of the show, but the guy brought in an iPhone 1 or whatever the first one was in the box,
original iPhone
in the box sealed. $60,000 is what they gave him for that phone. They're so expensive now, right? They're so expensive now that the like eBay was being flooded with them and stuff, and people were paying way up for it, and $20,000-$30,000, and they get it in the box and it's sealed, and they open it up. It's got fucking rocks and shit in it. So people are taking it. So they actually scanned this one, and they could see remember the earbuds used to come with the cord and all that. $60,000 for an iPhone 1.
Must have been Antiques Roadshow you were watching.
No. It was some golden auctions or something. King of auctions or some shit like that.
Okay.
I watched every auction show.
I like auction shows too, but that's. I mean, that's.
This is about this auction house, GOLDWIN. They do all the high-end sports memorabilia to whatever.
It goes for some money. Yeah, so if you have an original iPhone, I'll give you $500.
Yeah. Especially in the box shrink wrap. This guy had bought 2, one for him, one for his mom. His mom didn't want it, and he just put it in a drawer for all this year.
Holy smokes, man.
Nice, right?
That's a good return on your investment.
Yeah, but I don't even think that one had the thumbprint.
No, it didn't. The original, didn't exist. You just turned your phone on, it was on.
Right.
There wasn't no hiding shit.
Yeah, that wasn't. They showed the apps on the home screen on it. It was like
one app,
big ass text thing, and whatever else. But anyway. All right, let's go. You know how I love when they catch a motherfucker that got away with a crime. And I'm going to take you out to Roseville, California. And after 40 years of investigative work, authorities recently located and arrested a 59-year-old man in Los Angeles on suspicion of attacking and killing a woman. Now, according to the release from Roseville police, investigators found the body of 69-year-old Madeline Garcia on Atlantic Street in 1984. Officers recovered evidence at the scene suggesting Garcia had been attacked and dragged into an alley where she was killed. The police detectives exhausted all leads, and despite their efforts, officials were unable to identify a suspect at the time. Now, the Placer County District Attorney's Office noted that many of the officers and the detectives who initially worked on the case have since retired, but the investigation continued. DA's office and police detectives submitted samples for further testing. Prosecutors said advancement in forensic techniques, like we always talk about, coupled with investigative tenacity and teamwork, led to the identification and arrest of Richard Moore in Los Angeles on June 27th. Moore was reportedly living there at the time and was booked into custody before he was transported back to Placer County. He appeared in court for arraignment on a charge of murder with special allegations related to kidnapping and rape, and he pleaded not guilty. But anyway, they got him after, that's a long fucking time, bro.
Yeah.
I was 14.
Yeah. I mean,
So he's 5 years old. He was 19 when he did it.
and they're catching a lot of these people now that that guy thought he got away with it.
Oh, yeah, but he did get away with it for 40 years, bro. That's 40 Christmas and birthdays and holidays and 4th of July's and shit. He got away with it.
Yeah. Well, he's got to pay the piper now.
He's just sitting in jail. He's going to pay something, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Technology, is really making in the world of crime solving.
Right.
You were a detective back when you didn't have it. You had to be a real detective back then. They're not real now, but
I know.
It's a lot easier than it was.
We had a lot more avenues between cameras and DNA and all the stuff that we didn't have. And shit, being able to pin your cell phone and to certain locations. And I mean, they got so much more technology.
Yeah, back then it was all legwork.
Because, it was boots on the ground, right?
Wow. Well, I'm glad they finally got him.
Yep.
We're going to go to Sing and Take. You like Sonic? I love their ice.
I like their tater tots.
I like their tater. I like their conies.
Yeah.
Their conies are good. Don't eat there a whole lot, but when I do, I usually get a coney and a drink because it has the Sonic ice. Right. I like it so much, I actually got a machine now in the studio that makes Sonic ice. But we're going to take you to San Antonio, and police have identified a male and a female they believe are responsible for fatally shooting a 33-year-old Sonic employee over the weekend. San Antonio police shared those photos on social media of the two persons of interest and said they were suspected of killing the employee at a Sonic on Babcock Road in San Antonio. Police have not publicly revealed these suspects' names. The victim, Daryl Shrewsbury, reportedly got into a verbal dispute with the female suspect in the drive-thru, and during the argument, she pulled out a gun and shot him. Shrewsbury managed to get back inside the fast food restaurant after he was shot. Shrewsbury's family thinks he was called out, thinks he was shot because he called out the suspect's fake money.
Right.
Apparently, they were trying to give him counterfeit bills. Shrewsbury was not even supposed to be working the day of the shooting. He was called in. Shrewsbury's mom said her son was caring and loving, and a lot of people loved him. And it's just a really tragic split. It sounds like a split-second decision where a man lost his life.
But man,
this man's working hard coming in on his day off.
We see this shit all the time, more and more. Whether it's an attack through the drive-through window because they're pissed about what the bill is or whatever. It's just crazy. People killing each other.
And you're giving this man and you may not even know it was counterfeit, but you're giving this man a counterfeit bill and he's just telling you, hey, it's counterfeit.
It's counterfeit. I
can't it ain't.
Yeah, right.
That's real $20. And you shoot him and kill him.
And well, you know what? They're fucked now. And
they're going to get them. They got their faces all over social media.
Yeah, that just be a minute. That's all. So, all right, let's go out to H-Town, Houston. Of course, Leah Marie being from there.
Yep.
This one I've been holding on to for a minute. But a 13-year-old Anthony Lopez's stepmother, Angie Cardinal, and his mother, Monica Medina, held on to each other Wednesday as they talked about the moment they learned he died in a shooting. The only reason we knew he was gone was because his friend who tried to save his life called us and told us. He tried CPR. He tried to save our boy. He did everything he could, said Cardinal. My son's last words were, "What's happening to me?" That's what his mom said. Investigators said a 15-year-old boy shot Lopez with an AR-15 inside an apartment off of Wanda Lane. The 15-year-old told police he threw the gun in the bayou after the shooting, but police found it in a drainage pipe in the opposite direction. So he's trying to turn him around, right? Now, witness told police the shooting was an accident, but after police gathered more information, the 15-year-old is now charged with manslaughter. The witness would not give police a statement, according to the DA's office. Investigators said the 15-year-old's guardians left him home alone while they left to work in a different state. Okay. Well, I mean, you gotta work, I guess. Yeah. We would like for the other teens that were there with our son to please come forward and please let the detectives know what really happened, said Cardinal. And Medina said her son lives in Washington State and was in Houston just visiting her. We were just at the pool the same night with my family and my kids, and it's just so unreal. I feel like it's a dream, a terrible, horrible dream. I just can't believe it, said Medina. And they go on to talk about the victim. Anthony's family said he loved sports and had big league dreams. He was kind, he was sweet, he was caring, respectful, known and loved by all of his coaches and family. He was determined. Our baby was going to the NFL. He was funny. He was full of love, and he had the biggest heart anyone could ask for, said Cardinal. And the name of the shooter has not been released because it's a minor. Maybe one of those where they were playing around with guns or whatever and shot at the friends. And I've worked those too. I mean, boy, you talk about sad. I had one, but the dude had just bought a new pistol, and he was laying on the couch, and his friend was sitting up in a chair. This is up north of Denham. And his buddy said, let me see the pistol. And the guy that was in the chair gave it to him, and was fucking around and just turned like this and squeezed the trigger and shot and killed his buddy in the chair.
Oh, my God. Yeah. You know, and those are horrible cases because it wasn't obviously intentional, right, but it was definitely negligent.
Yeah, it was definitely negligent. Well, I had three brothers, and they were all minors in a room, and one brother got a shotgun out. They'd been rabbit hunting or something, got the shotgun out and pulled the fucking trigger and killed his 7-year-old brother. Not on purpose, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you do? I guess you got to live with that.
Yeah, horrible. Well, our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to that family.
Hopefully they get the answers they need.
We're going to go to Minnesota.
Minnesota.
There
this year, Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Did you see the new series on Netflix? Receivers.
No.
It's got Justin Jefferson.
Does it really?
Amon St. Brown. What's his name from Las Vegas that played for Green Bay before? Yeah. It's got 4 of them. They follow him throughout the season.
I have to check that out. I know they did one on quarterbacks where they did.
Yeah. So this is like
Kansas City.
And I didn't know Peyton Manning is executive producer of those shows.
Is he really?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I did not. Yeah. Peyton's smart now.
Yes.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday host and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. Hey ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone supporting supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
Very good. Well, we'll get back to Minnesota, and a speeding Minnesota state trooper T-boned a passenger side of a Ford Focus at full throttle, killing a high school cheerleader just before her graduation. Trooper Shane Roper, 32, hit speeds as high as 135 miles per hour.
The reason 136 is that's as fast as that car would go.
99 miles per hour over the speed limit. Right. Without his lights and sirens, during one of the 4 times he was speeding prior to that crash before blasting into the side of that Focus. And a Ford Focus is very little, right, y'all. Olivia Flores, 18, who was in the passenger seat, was killed. 5 others were injured but survived. It's a miracle. This week, Roper was charged with manslaughter, criminal vehicular homicide, and 5 counts of criminal vehicular operation. 2 of Flores's friends were injured in the crash, and 3 others were in a third car that was where they were also injured. Flores was with her friends on the way to the mall when Roper crashed into the Focus at 83 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone. Trooper Roper maintained a full throttle without lights and sirens. Investigation revealed that the trooper did not come off full throttle until the Focus started into the intersection approximately 1.4 seconds before impact. Trooper Roper's vehicle violently impacted that Focus, obviously, and this was the 4th time he drove above speed limits during that particular day, including one incident where he topped out at 135, which we just said.
Oh, yeah.
They track
now they do. Yeah.
They track the speeds of the.
Yes, because they have the. And thank God they didn't have that back in my day. They can tell you where you're at, if your vehicle's running, how fast you're going, if so they can tell everything. Yeah,
and a lot of people have those apps,
the safe driver things.
Yeah, and even Woody, the app where you can track your kids and stuff. Yeah. Somebody out there screaming it right now, but that will also tell you the speed, the average speed your kid goes, all kinds of things.
Y'all, if you haven't done this, contact your insurance company, and they'll give you the thing to put in your car, and they follow you for like 2 weeks, and the safe driver, and they give you like a 30% discount.
Yeah, they offered me that. I'm like, I don't want you following me. Big brother watching me. I quit worrying about people following me when I got out of my house and got out on my own and was driving a car, and didn't have to worry about my parents fussing at me for it. I don't want State Farm yelling at me.
Yeah, we didn't have that, thank goodness, back in the day, right? So let's go out to Tennessee, where I used to live. I love me some Tennessee.
Yeah, man.
This is in Hendersonville, and a 17-year-old suspect is in custody after allegedly killing a runaway juvenile whose remains were found near a wooded area last week. Now, on the evening of June 29th, the Macon County Sheriff's Office received a report that 17-year-old Tritney Bostic was missing. Investigators spoke with the relatives and friends in the hope of finding her. Using Bostic's cell phone number, deputies tracked her location in Sumner County and contacted local officials. And despite their attempts, authorities were unable to find Bostic. Now, officials entered the missing juvenile into the National Crime Information Center. That's a computer, y'all, where they issued a BOLO, be on the lookout for her. And according to Hendersonville Police, on July 3rd, a Tennessee Department of Transportation subcontractor worker who was picking up trash found human remains in a small wood line on New Shackle Island Road. And investigators positively identified the victim as Bostic and suspected foul play was involved in her death. Now, on July the 6th, police announced the arrest of a 17-year-old male whose name has not been released, and he was booked in the Sumner County Detention Center on charges of first-degree murder. You hate that for. She's a beautiful little girl. I got a picture of her. But prime, not even in the prime of her life, the start of her life, and first-degree murder, got to be a rape and shit involved. Or maybe the kidnapping. I don't know. But every parent's worst nightmare.
Every parent's worst nightmare,
and that's just beginning for them.
And there's a balance with your kids that you try to find, and I've always struggled to find that line. Right. I'm definitely on the side of overprotective. Right. Even now, and my kids are 18, but 18 and 20. But I'll tell you, just going to work out at 9 o'clock at night, you got. I make sure I tell my girls if they're going that late, you better keep your head on a swivel. And watch everything you do, because that's when these jackasses are looking to snatch somebody and sex traffic you and stuff like that. It don't just happen. Sex trafficking don't just happen to very, very young women either. Yep. You could be a 40-year-old woman and the next thing you know, you're in Mexico, right? Or somewhere else.
Yep. Getting taken and used for all the nefarious things they did for. But I don't know.
Yeah, so how about we go to Alaska? We don't go there too often, Woody.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Alaska?
No, because I know I won't come back.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You told me about you going.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to dredge.
For gold?
Here, and we're going to dredging for gold.
There you go, bro.
Okay. I'm going to go try to spend 2 weeks at the Cripple River mining camp. I had to fly in my float plane, and then you get there on four-wheeler, and it's real, rustic and everything.
Yeah.
But, you get to keep all the gold you find, and then one day of the 2 weeks, you work on the general mining operation, and they divide all that gold up at the end of the 2 weeks.
Pretty awesome. Kind of like Gold Rush, the movie.
Yeah.
Or the TV show.
Yeah. Can't wait to go. Well, tell me about it.
Well, I wish this was about gold. This is about a death, but a man killed 2 Alaska Native women and was heard while videotaping the torture death of one of them, that in his movies, he said, everybody always dies. That's how cold-blooded this guy was. He was sentenced Friday to 226 years in prison. Brian Stephen Smith received 99-year sentences for each of the deaths of Kathleen Henry, who was 30, and Veronica Abchuk, who was 52 when her family reported her missing in February 2019, 7 months after they last saw her. Both were treated as horribly as a person can be treated, according to the judge. The remaining 28 years were for other charges like sexual assault and tampering with evidence. Alaska does not have a death penalty. Smith, who was a native of South Africa, became a naturalized U.S. citizen shortly before torturing and killing Henry at an Anchorage hotel in September of 2019, showing no emotion during sentencing. He also displayed no emotion when a jury deliberated for less than 2 hours and found him guilty after a 3-week trial in February. So those prosecutors obviously did a good job. Right. During the trial, the victims were not identified by name, only initials, and Saxby said during the sentencing that their names would be used only in order to restore their personhood. Smith was arrested in 2019 when a sex worker stole his cell phone from his truck and found the gruesome footage of Henry's torture and murder. How about that? Yeah. Prostitute, he gets a prostitute, she steals his phone, she gets it open, and
there you have it.
There's a murder on his cell phone. The images were eventually copied onto a memory card, and she turned that memory card over to police. Smith eventually confessed to killing Henry and Abchuk, whose body had been found earlier but were misidentified. Both Alaska Native women were from small villages in western Alaska and experienced homelessness when living in Anchorage. And so if you noticed earlier, I said one of them was not reported missing, Henry, for 7 months. And that's why, high-risk lifestyle. Right. So authorities identified Henry as the victim whose death was recorded at a Town Place Suites Marriott in Midtown Anchorage. Smith, who works at the hotel, was registered to stay there from September 2nd to 4th of 2019, and the first images from the card showed Henry's body, and they were time-stamped at 1 a.m. that day. The last image, early September 6th of 2019, showed Henry's body in the back of a black pickup. Charging documents said location data showed Smith's phone in the same rural area of Anchorage where Henry's body was found a few weeks earlier, and videos from the memory card were shown during the trial to the jury but hidden from the gallery. Smith's face was never shown in the videos, but his distinctive South African accent, which police eventually recognized from previous encounters, was heard narrating it as if there were an audience. On the tape, he repeatedly urged Henry to die as he beat and strangled her. Nice. In my movies, everybody always dies, the voice said in one video. What are my followers going to think of me? People need to know when they are being serial killed.
Crazy.
During an 8-hour interview with police, Smith confessed to killing Abchuk after picking her up from Anchorage when his wife was out of town. He took her to his home, and he offered to take her to his home. She refused. Then he convinced her, asked her to shower because of an odor. She became upset, and that pissed him off. He retrieved a pistol from the garage and shot her in the head, dumped her body north of Anchorage, and he told police the location where authorities later found a skull with a bullet wound in it.
Can you imagine?
And this dude was filming it like a movie.
They're just recording it. Hey, not his first body, probably, right?
No.
Bodies.
I would imagine this guy's probably got a lot more blood on his hands that haven't even been discovered yet.
Possibly coming from Africa, right?
Yeah, so. and thought he was safe, I guess, because his face wasn't on video. But you got an accent, buddy.
Well, he thought he was safe because he thought he had possession of his own phone.
Yeah,
to the girl stole it.
Right? Yep,
which is crazy in and of itself. But I don't know, Jimmy, but it's hot, right? And everybody knows it's hot, and now it's hot in Louisiana with the humidity. It's hot out west with the dry heat and all that. And let's go out west, okay? And I'm going to tell you about an infant named Tana Ray Robleski, and unfortunately died after she was with her family on Lake Havasu during a severe heat wave in Arizona. Now, She was a 4-month-old infant, and she died after she was exposed to a heat wave while in Lake Havasu with her family on Friday, July the 5th. And that's what the Mojave County Sheriff's Office confirmed. The baby girl, Tanneray, fell ill and then lost consciousness around 5 p.m. on Friday while her family was out on a boat on the lake. Before the Lake Havasu City Fire Department arrived on the scene, Tana's family performed CPR on her, and the first responders then transported him to Havasu Regional Medical Center, where they continued to work on her and get a pulse. She was then airlifted to Phoenix Children's Hospital, but succumbed to injuries. Now check this out. An investigation into Tana's death is ongoing, and additionally, the infant's cause of death has yet to be released by the medical examiner. But beginning on Thursday, July the 4th, the Lake Havasu region alerted the public that temperatures would be breaking records for the first time in nearly 4 decades. Temperatures in the area hit highs of 120 degrees Fahrenheit starting Friday and continued reaching the 110s through the middle of July. And they've had a lot of people that died from the heat shit. But Tanya's mother posted a heartfelt tribute, on Sunday, July 7th on Facebook. It said, Tanneray, a real-life angel, became an angel in heaven. We were beyond devastated, heartbroken. There are just no words. On July 5th, our precious girl gave us her last smiles, and we gave her our last kisses. Hey, y'all. Changing my wardrobe from summer to fall, it's never easy. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items I adore. Ensure my wardrobe stays fresh and I don't blow my budget. And there's nothing easier than going to Quince and choosing these high-quality items, like cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, and I love that. I got the stainless steel Link Apple Watch band for $59.90. It's heavy duty, it's awesome, and it's like $100 less than I could find anywhere else. And I also got a 100% organic cotton fisherman quarter zip up sweater. The color is alabaster. Man, I can't wait to wear that this fall. And Cindy got the Mongolian cashmere boat neck sweater in heather gray. And I'm telling you, these are classic pieces at a fraction of the price. Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/RLRC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/RLRC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/RLRC. You'll thank me later. You know what? She wasn't even 4 months old, right? I mean, she was right close to 4 months. Now, let me tell you this. When WL came up, his birthday was this past weekend. And the day before, Sydney was scheduled for where they induced the labor shit. We were out on my boat, right? And then he was raised on the boat on the lake and whatever.
Yeah.
120-degree temperatures, man. I mean, I remember him being asleep, like, not even 1 year old, and we were at the rope swing, and we had the music blaring wide open for however long, and he'd pick up his head. I would look over, he's got his head peeked over to the top of the thing. But, you gotta, y'all, it's hot. Like Jim said earlier, it's hot. And I mean, I don't know how you're going to catch charges on your 4-month-old.
You're in the desert, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mojave
even though you're
desert.
on a lake in the desert, it's still 120 degrees, and the 4-month-old isn't in the water. Not throwing shade. I hate that they lost it, but y'all be careful.
Wow. It's horrible.
Yes, it is.
I'm a little mile-high crime today.
Mile high.
We're going to go to Hawaii for this one.
Been there.
Well, the Hawaii Police Department. I've never been to Hawaii. I hear the food's expensive.
You're not missing anything.
Everybody that I've ever talked to regarding Hawaii says, "Oh, the food's ridiculous because you got to fly everything in that you can't grow."
Everything's expensive.
The Hawaii Police Department has arrested a 41-year-old by the name of Akito Fukushima for first-degree terroristic threatening early this past Tuesday. According to Hawaii's PD, Fukushima was released pending an investigation. The investigators are expected to present the case to the prosecutor's office for review next week. The police say Fukushima was carrying 2 items resembling grenades that were detected during an X-ray screening in his carry-on bag. Right. The grenades were purchased at an Army-Navy surplus store on the island. Fukushima is a Japanese national from Japan, departing the U.S. at the time of his arrest. Police said that they are replicas of explosives, such as hand grenades, but they are prevented and prohibited as check-in or carry-on items for obvious reasons, y'all. TSA officials can also prohibit any item they believe poses a security threat. So Mr. Hikashima, I guess, did not realize that bringing a inert grenade onto your carry-on luggage.
What is the purpose? I mean, what are you going to do with those? I don't get it. But let me tell you about those. When I was Swim was in high school. We went to the Army surplus store, and you could buy the pineapple grenades, but they had a hole bored in the end, right? Where all the gunpowder was out.
Yeah.
And what it is, they cram those grenades full of gunpowder, and the reason it looks like a pineapple is to make the metal weaker, so when it explodes,
the shrapnel goes everywhere.
So Swim got one of those, and we got my buddy's dad's. It was actually the judge that refilled his own bullets, and we went and got a thing of his black powder, and we put the end with a fuse on it, and then filled it up with black powder, and took a piece of wood and hammered it in on it. But I honestly thought motherfucker wasn't going to blow up, right? Because I figured to blow the wood out or something like that. And bro, thank God that my buddy's carport had a half brick wall, and we lit the fuse in that fucker and threw it over the wall. It blew the windows out of the house.
No way.
And thank God we were down behind the wall, it killed all of us. So I'm thinking, what in the fuck do you need 2 inert grenades for?
Yeah. I guess
there ain't nothing good.
I mean, and you're definitely not going to bring those on a plane.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
You're not going to be allowed to do that.
Use it as a paperweight on your desk or something, maybe. But I mean, why bring it on a plane? I don't get it.
Bizarre, man. Bizarre. Well, he did not get away with it, but that's sure. Mile high crime for today.
There you go. Well, I'm going to do one more, Jim.
Is it kinky?
No.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Damn it.
Fortunately, it's not. I got to get back on the kinky train. Y'all send me your kinky stories. Let's see. Let's go to Buffalo, New York, where my nephew and I guess my nephew's kid be to me. Anyway, his first great-grandbaby.
What would that be?
I don't know.
Let's figure that out.
I get that shit confused all the time.
Second cousin?
So,
I don't know.
But
somebody out there screaming it.
It's Dalton Lee. But he's the first. I think my parents have like 23 grandkids, and only now 3 of them are boys out of the 23, maybe 21. But he was the first great grandchild, and it was a boy. And now I'm about to be a grandfather of the first great granddaughter. But anyway, that's where they live. So we go to Buffalo. A Buffalo police officer fatally shot a man while clinging to the suspect's car after he sped off with a 6-year-old child in the front seat during a traffic stop. And this was all on body cam. Have you heard this?
Mm-mm.
All right. So Officer Ronald Ammerman pulled over 25-year-old Davion Roberts just after midnight Wednesday for driving at an excessive speed and having tinted windows. Now, Ammerman approached the driver's side of the car and immediately noticed that a 6-year-old boy, whom the suspect first identified as his little cousin, and then second later as his nephew, the kid was sitting in the front seat without a seatbelt. That's what the cop noticed, and this guy changed the story. The officer asked Roberts to provide identification, to which he agreed. The suspect had told the officer he was from Georgia and was driving his sister's vehicle, showed him an out-of-state ID on his phone, and said it was fine because he gets pulled over every day, right? It's all good. Don't worry about it. So, however, upon looking up the ID, the officer found the photo of the ID to be invalid and that Roberts didn't have a license in either state. The officer then told Robert authorities would do a different search for his name, and Ammerman, the officer, reached into the car and opened the door. Seconds after the door opened, Robert slammed on the gas pedal and sped off with the officer holding on to the door frame for dear life. And that's a no shit moment. And they got all this on body cam, y'all. You're going to kill me, bro. Ammerman, who's a cop, y'all, it can be heard repeatedly pleading as the car accelerates. The officer begs the suspect to slow down and he'll get out. But Roberts, the driver, ignored him. Roberts continues to drive erratically and appears to kick Ammerman to push him off the car while the 6-year-old can be heard hysterically crying. Boom, Jim. So Officer Ammerman pulls out his gun and fires several rounds into Roberts, who comes tumbling out of the moving vehicle and onto the officer. Ammerman clutches onto the car for about 20 seconds before he shoots Roberts, and the two fall into the street. Shots fired. There's a kid in the car still. He tried killing me, Ammerman shouts in his radio while rushing over to check on the child. Upon reaching the vehicle, the officer immediately consoles a 6-year-old who was thankfully unharmed. In the body cam of Ammerman's partner, Officer Jonathan Crawford, was positioned on the passenger side of the suspect car, which showed the moment Robert took off with his partner clinging to the car. And Crawford then gets in his cruiser and reaches the suspect lying motionless on the ground before more help arrives. He was taken in the hospital, but he's dead. And Ammerman was also taken to the hospital, the officer with minor injuries and later released. They got a search warrant for the car, and it didn't even belong to the guy. And they found a loaded 9mm Taurus handgun under the driver's seat. So it goes on, but obviously he had bad intentions. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And,
there's no doubt. And those police are, man, you take such a risk.
Right.
These.
Every day.
You just never know what you're walking into.
And, I mean, think about shooting that in the car that close. Thank God that baby didn't get hit.
Yes.
And this guy has a long history of being a shithead. But he won't be a shithead anymore.
Oh, he's going down now.
And he's going downtown.
Look, let's talk real quick about Ryan Loder.
Yeah.
Ryan Loder dominated on his fight. And I'll tell you what, I watched it. He did what's called an arm in choke. That was the submission. And that, I can tell you, is probably the hardest choke. You have to be stronger than strong to pull that off because someone's arm is in the way. So you're trained in order to avoid a choke to put your hand, they actually call them making earmuffs. You put your hand on your ears, and if someone's trying to choke you, you're creating space. Right. So essentially, Ryan Loder choked him with his own arm. That's hard.
He's a beast. But
took no damage. He didn't even get hit in that fight.
I know. And I got to talk to him. So I didn't even tell you this. I've been talking to Ryan. He's just a cool cat, and like
seems like it.
We're in a group text with me and his dad and Shane McBride. Anyway, this weekend I sent him the picture of W.O. going his first scuba lesson, and Ryan sent one and said, or you could just do this. And there's a 50-something second video of him free diving in California with a spear gun. I'm going down like 40 feet. And, but he's a
free
beast.
diving.
Check this out. I'm going to tell you something else about it. So this season on The Ultimate Fighter, I told you there are more international fighters than ever. Well, actually, there's only 2 American fighters out of the 16 in the house. And Ron sent me this. The dad sent me that. And I mean, that's pretty cool, right? But did you see when Ryan was talking about his teachers were told his parents, you got to get.
Oh yeah, with the dyslexia.
Basically, you're a dumbass. They didn't know he had dyslexia at the time. But Ron, he not only did he go on to graduate from college and be a national champion wrestler, he was on the Olympic team or the final 8 or whatever for the Olympics. And then his college got him to come back, and he got his master's in whatever. Just a super, super smart guy. And what really pulled on my heartstrings when he was on there talking about having the problems, and he hopes there's another kid out there that's watching it, and when people are telling you can't do this, you can't do that, don't give up on your dreams.
Yeah, use Ryan Loder as an example. And
what a great kid. I can't wait to see the next fight.
Me either. And I'll tell you, he's a wrestler. Wrestlers,
champion college wrestler,
Division I, and wrestlers are the toughest individuals mentally that you will ever meet. They absolutely spend their whole life not giving up.
Right.
You never give up on a takedown. They have to cut weight a lot of times, which takes a lot of mental strength. This guy's a beast, and look, he's being coached right now by Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, it's going to be they're going to fight again.
She looks lovely as always.
Right? Her and that lady, the one that's the champion now, I can't forget her name. They're going to fight. Yeah. So whoever wins in the house gets to go to Vegas for the finale. And what happens to the finale is the 2 top ones in each division that are still standing, they fight for a UFC contract, $250,000. But the headline of that fight is the 2 coaches fight again.
Yeah.
So those 2 women are going to fight again for the world championship.
Valentina.
But yeah, man,
she's my favorite.
I dealt with people from all walks of life for so many years. But I hope my boys, I know one of them has, but I hope WL will grow up to be class act.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't even, I've told him, I said, I'm thankful they didn't have UFC when I was coming up because my dumb ass would have done it. And he said his mama wouldn't even let him watch the show coming up. And
she knew he'd want to do it.
But, he got into it. He was during COVID, he was training because he was a professional wrestler, right?
Yeah.
He was training them on some UFC fighters on the wrestling part. Yeah. And Uriah Faber and them were there, and they were like, hey, you know what? You need to try this out. And the rest is history.
Yep. And Uriah Faber, absolute legend.
Shane got to meet him, said he's a class act.
Yeah,
said
he's
just
awesome.
A cool cat.
California surfer, baby.
Yeah.
Yep. So shout out to you, Ryan Loder. Congratulations on your win. Looking forward to continue to watch. A good looking kid too, man. 16. I used to look like that in '93.
Yeah, me too.
When I had a full head of hair. Yeah.
That boy, he's got a boy. Yeah, young man's got it going on.
That's right. So shout out to you. Any final thoughts?
Just love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all send us your stories. If you want to hear something funny or whatever happened in your hometown, send it to us and we will get it covered.
All right. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton,
your host of Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.